This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 257 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I'm your highly unstable Omega level threat, Eric Getty Gettinger. With me, as always, is mad scientist and fashion icon, Alex Arona.
I make these lab coats look good, Getty. Pose.
I wish you had a lab coat.
You gotta pose, and then you combine. Pose, show the beaker.
Do you have a beaker?
We're podcasting right now, Getty. I'm not going to hold dangerous lab equipment or fashionable lab coats. This podcast isn't worth it.
Oh, what's the price of humor for you? What's like $5?
$10.
That's an acceptable. $10 is your max.
Think I'm cheap, Getty?
No, I'm just.
Is that what you're calling me?
What is a joke to you? What is the maximum amount of money you're willing to spend on a joke?
That depends. How often can you reuse the stuff that you put into the joke?
I reuse a lot of jokes.
This is a one shot.
If it's a one shot, I'm gonna say my max is like $50.
That's more than I would spend on a prank or a joke.
Well,
no, I've spent probably upwards up to $150 on a joke.
For one-time use?
No, well, hold on. No, the most if I'm saying what I have done, I spent $80 on that duster. Like, I just got like a notification, like, you bought that duster 10 years ago.
Good job.
Bought a leather
but that
duster.
Was for a joke.
Yeah. Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I forgot about the duster.
Yeah. It's like season 1 or 2, baby. It's a real old joke.
All right. Now a man who needs no introduction. Oh, wait. He's not here. Bye, Joel. Also with us, we have famed human death puzzle creator and gym shoe collector, Alec Parks.
Would you like to play a game? You can win a pair of Nikes. Or die.
I feel like the demographic these days, some kids might be willing to risk it all, depending on the shoe, right?
Depending on the rarity of that Nike.
I mean, most of my shoes actually are New Balance. I stick with the old man dad shoes.
Not anymore, man. They have a skateboarding shoe.
Really?
Yes. New Balance has a whole skateboarding team.
That's impressive.
A team?
Yeah,
of skateboarders?
I'll send you a link. They're pretty cool.
Are they all dads?
Nope. They ain't your dad's shoe no more.
Oh.
I mean, they can still be dad shoes.
You're a dad shoe, Getty.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Complete with grass stains. From mowing the lawn.
Yeah, I got it.
Really? I don't think you got it.
Here in this chat, the New Balance skateboarding shoes. Keep going.
All right. No, because now you've decided to integrate the chat. Now I'm distracted and I have to go click on something on the screen. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to finish this episode.
What's next?
Nothing. This was the whole episode. Good night, everybody. We already got off to a late start. Why are you trying to rush me?
That's why.
All of the feedback that I've received says the episodes are too long. So what about me speeding things up do you understand?
I'm trying to speed it up, Getty. Let's go.
We don't give the people what they want.
Vroom, vroom.
Because the people aren't here.
Listen, I'm going to keep saying our slogan, our new slogan, every episode.
I got some things to say about this podcast. And it sure is a podcast. All right. This week we take a walk in early adopters. Alex thinks we're talking about the news. Joke's on him. Then I sit and hear about Monster Hunter in the backlog. So let's do it. Let's jump into it. Let's head over to Early Adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games where I end up craving blood. Guys, can I tell you about Megacopter?
Ooh, please
Blades
do.
Of the Goddess?
I would love nothing more.
I think that this might be a genre of game, but it was an older genre of game, if I remember correctly. You control a helicopter, but it's a asymmetric view. What is that, like top down, but it's at an angle?
Isometric.
And isometric. There we go. We're not murdering any. Well, we're not murdering any teenagers, I don't think. But
Yet.
that's the other one, right?
Go on.
Yes, but you are controlling a helicopter. You've got guns. You've got missiles. You've got other weapons that I didn't even unlock. But man, Megacopter, right from the get-go, graphically not super intense, but it's got like a little bit of voxel to the critters that are running around on screen, and it looks real sharp in my opinion, especially when you get to some of the items, some of the later stages where you run into some cool things. The real crazy part though is like you are what's the guy's name, like Hank Copter?
Yeah.
And he's just a regular soldier, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna jump in this helicopter. You are in it, and then as you progress the story, it's like, oh, it's a lizard person. A lizard person? Kill him. Like, super close up on the lizard person. You are just shooting him with a dozen bullets, and then your guy, like, makes a face. He's gritting his teeth. He's like, ah! And that's just a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I got the
Turns
feeling
out-
that he was discharged from the military due to what happened at the last assignment.
No,
Yeah,
but
this
they
was
don't-
not a military op. This was, in fact, a mission for blood.
This is a secret operation. And the Megacopter, the helicopter, who wants to spill the beans?
The helicopter, the Megacopter is alive and it craves blood.
It's an Aztec god. And did you like how they used, like, Aztechnology? Or
Yes.
It's just so over the top. From just killing lizard people to the plane being a goddess, a blood goddess. This game is real wacky, and I love it, how it leans into it. You got the grumpy commander who's giving you like, hey, you got to get out there right now. Or you think this isn't going to be fun for you? It's fun. It's stupid fun.
Yeah.
Monsters that are appearing on the screen. The hardest thing that I came across was a tank. You really have to hit it with a couple missiles. Otherwise, you got regular guys with guns. They're shooting. They're floating across the screen. Nothing that's moving too fast except for missiles. Missiles were pretty tricky, but you have a dodge.
Yeah, I kept forgetting to dodge. I face tanked those missiles.
I just avoided them. I didn't know there was a dodge.
How far did you get?
They even
Not
say
very.
dodge.
Yeah,
Not very.
You get the dodge in the second mission because the first mission is you've got the intro mission. The second mission is you find out you're fighting the reptoids, these reptile people, and then the
Pretty
third
cool.
mission they introduce that your helicopter is the Aztec god and it craves blood, and it gives you the dodge too.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Did you get to the last mission?
I did not. I wishlisted it after destroying the tanks.
Better question. Did you get to where you can upgrade your copter?
Yes, I did. Pizza tokens, very stable economy.
You have to use the special pizza tokens. That's the only currency that the guy will accept.
I didn't play a lot of this game, and I can't at all. I don't have the wherewithal to tell whether you guys are messing with me or not.
No, very serious. The fourth mission, you end up protecting the pizza place from waves of monsters as they're coming in. So this kind of reminded me of like a real-time strategy in that regard, where you've got just wave after wave of the reptile people coming in, and you got to move back and forth across the map. After a wave, you can explore a little bit more. You can pick up armor. You can pick up more missiles so that you don't run out of supplies. But then in this mission where you're protecting the pizza place, like these Aztec statues just pop out of nowhere, and you can pick them up with the helicopter and move them into a lane, and they'll shoot flames.
Ooh,
but
tower defense.
The banter, yeah. So the banter is just too funny. It's like, we're going to have a bloodbath. Like, yeah, bloodbath. And then another one pops up. He's like, did I hear bloodbath?
Hell yeah, bloodbath.
So I love Megacopter for how ridiculous the premise is and simplistic that the gameplay is. There's not too much that you can do. It's just the 4 missions, climaxing with being able to
Please don't ever say that again.
do this like tower defense / protect the pizza place level. But good variety of monsters that you're running into. Control of the Megacopter, after a while it gets easier. You really have to adjust the reticule on the screen where you're shooting, whether you're shooting at stuff. I think the only thing I encountered that was in the air were the drones in one of the starter missions.
Yeah, that was really
Otherwise,
early
everything
on.
else I'm shooting is on the ground.
Yeah, I ran into that too.
So I think that, I'm sure that there's more. The amount of upgrades that you can get, it looks like you're able to get like energy weapons later on. But yeah, just a cool sneak preview of Megacopter, Blades of the Goddess. And then, sometimes after a game like that, I like to reflect.
Okay.
Alex?
That was all right. I give you a B+.
I like to think about all the violence that I have done during the day. And then I move over to simpler games. Maybe not simpler, but a lot more calm and infuriating.
The art of said reflection.
The Art of Reflection is another game that we played this week. Did you guys play The Art of Reflection?
I did. I don't like puzzle games. There's
always one.
This was a game where you would teleport in based off of these balls. You would zoom in on them, and that, based upon how far you zoomed in, would dictate how close you got to the ball at the end of the teleport.
Mm-hmm.
And you could use mirrors and everything to actually adjust angles and how you saw these balls, and to be able to get closer or farther away from them, or work angles to get around plastic barriers that stopped you.
Yeah.
It was... I got through most of the initial game, the initial level, but then I ran into a spot where I was supposed to do something with these...
mirrors?
No, the pistons is what they kind of look like after you. And I went through the whole second part of the level without actually putting it in a hole and lost it.
It just appears back at the point in the hub.
Oh, good.
If you drop it.
I might go back and finish it then.
I could not finish it, and I played it for much longer than I'd like to admit. I found all the gears, pistons, whatever you want to call them, in the first area, which I believe was 3 or 4. And then I made it to the second area, and I found another 4. And then after that, I was like, well, what do I do? So I couldn't tell if there was like a musical puzzle that I was supposed to solve then, but I had completed both of the hubs as far as I could tell. This was one of those things where I had started to get going, and I was like, oh, this is fun. I was like, I don't want this game to beat me because I am good at puzzles. And then it was like, you're pretty good at puzzles, but you're not great. And I was like, I'm going to find everything that I can, and I'm going to do this. And
You're not the art of reflection good.
I mean, I reflected after I finished playing. I don't know about you, Alex.
I did okay. I had a little bit of trouble. I got to the key section, and it was like you had to like find a way to get to where the key fit the door, so the door would be flipped around.
Yep.
And
that's in the second set. After the first set of gears, pistons, whatever you call it.
Okay.
You unlock, like in that area, there are other things that pop up, and then you can move to those areas to do more.
Nice. Yeah, I totally bailed after that first one because I was like, nope, I lost a piece. I'm done.
I can never go home.
Yeah, no, so I had fun with that, and I got the idea. I think for me, some of these things, I feel like I like a bigger picture, like a more dynamic, like kind of...
You want a story that goes with it.
No, not even that.
No?
It's more like, here it seemed like the major mechanic was just these orbs.
Yeah.
What did the blue orbs do?
That was kind of like a, hey, this is where you want to be. So the blue orb, you would find them close to the end of an area. It was kind of... I looked at it as, when I saw the blue orb, I knew that I was about to make it to the climax of one of the puzzle areas.
Oh, okay. So...
And there were some that weren't very long, some that were pretty long. I mean, the way that the mechanic changes... I'll let you go, Alex. I just want to say that it introduces a simple mechanic, and then it makes it more difficult by introducing challenges like the keys, like having to stop yourself in midair and reposition yourself too. Because there were some stages where you had to do drops and then zoom and flip and move around.
Yeah, and that's kind of the other part, is that I felt like that was very... I want to say, like, I couldn't get a grasp at doing that accurately.
Okay.
And because I couldn't
But you
get a
could
grasp...
stop time.
I didn't get that far?
No, whenever you would hit the button to zoom in, that stops time.
So, yes, but I couldn't, like, I meant, like, if I'm going to teleport to an orb, and they, like, sometimes, like, stop halfway, and you're on a new platform, so you don't actually go all the way to the orb. I couldn't stop at a good time.
The right trigger.
Okay. Well, you know that then you can zoom back out.
No, I didn't know that.
Expel yourself.
So I would zoom, I would try to move, I would zoom and teleport, and then I would stop myself, and I would be like, oh, I missed the platform.
Okay.
And then I'd like have to do it again, and I just kind of felt like I was doing that a lot. And with that, I also just felt like it was hard for me to get a good grasp of accuracy. And so with it just being a teleport mechanic style game, I think I wanted more from it. When you get games like that camera perspective game, you know, I can't remember what it was called, but
You're going to have to remember.
yes, it's fine. It's fine. With the camera perspective game, I felt like the mechanics were so massive. Like I just felt like I could do anything. I saw thousands of possibilities, and that made me very excited. Here, I kind of see one possibility.
You're talking about Viewfinder.
Yes.
Yeah. So because I only see kind of one possibility, I think that's what I want. I want more of an expanded idea with this mechanic. And in this intro demo, I did not get the extended view.
Okay.
So,
For sure, I felt that some of the puzzles were challenging.
for sure.
I wanted a little bit more direction from it. I didn't have too many hiccups when it came to being able to stop, being able to know. There were tricky puzzles, to be sure, but I didn't feel like anything was obtuse. Like everything, if you spent a little bit of time thinking about it, then you could easily solve it. There wasn't anything that made me want to actively stand up and break my monitor. Let me put it that way.
Is that like an often instinct for you?
I don't know. Do you know? Do I seem like the kind of person that is filled with rage?
Kinda.
Okay.
I mean, Alex
have
does if
posts.
it's Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh, don't get me started.
I heard that one of these days Alex will finish Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh, I've beaten it.
No, breaking the game in half doesn't count as beating it.
I have beaten it once. One of my favorite games.
All right.
Yep.
Alec, did you have anything you wanted to throw in for the Art of Reflection?
No, I actually had to stop and come back to it because I played through it to got to that like one of the first puzzles where you had to really adjust how far you were, and you had that ramp going down, and I kept missing that major platform, and I was just like, nope, I am not getting this game. And I came back to it, and it was just like, oh, there we go. I kind of got it. Still didn't do it the way they wanted me to, though.
It sounds like Alec was close to breaking his monitor.
No, just yeah.
He was close to uninstalling the game.
Yes.
How about that? All right. Well, if you like puzzle games, maybe check out The Art of Reflection. If you like crazy premise and shooty games, Megacopter?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's take a break to reflect and the art behind it.
Nice.
Hey. We got another segment here? Oh, yeah. Oh, this one. This is the news with Super GG Radio, now with 34% more Steam merch. Too bad Joel isn't here to talk about his Steam Deck. That's right, we suckered him into getting one.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
Now he's got a Vampire Survivors machine that he can just play Vampire Survivors on.
I mean, it did also go to mobile.
Vampire Survivors.
I mean, right? Didn't it go to mobile?
I don't think so.
Not yet?
I mean,
Vampire
I don't know.
Survivors.
But the important thing is now he can play it at his kids' baseball games.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now he can extra not pay attention.
Vampire Survivors went mobile.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, but now he's got a Steam Deck for it.
Sure.
Let's be honest, you might need your phone for an emergency.
But you'll never need your Steam Deck for an emergency. Unless it's a Vampire Survivors emergency.
Woo!
You just need to get a mobile hotspot, and then you can play Monster Hunter World.
That doesn't sound like it would be much fun.
I also don't think that runs very well on Steam Deck.
It
Monster
does,
I mean,
actually.
it runs.
On Steam Deck, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It runs.
Monster Hunter Rise, I don't think will, because I had a big problem with my old PC and getting Rise to work.
I think it will, but again, I don't know how much like battery life you are going to have out of that bad boy.
I mean, that is the other part of it.
Except for me, who recently replaced the battery in their Steam Deck.
Nice.
Don't recommend that. It's terrifying. All right, Monster Hunter Rise, $10 right now, and it is Steam Deck verified. Just in case you were wondering.
Wow.
All right, let's jump into the news. Universal Pictures making a Just Cause movie. Hey, where's my D-Zack at?
I know, right?
We haven't brought him up in a while, and he loves Just Cause.
Stunt position. Stunt position.
I played a little bit of Just Cause 3.
It's a good one. All of them are relatively good.
Take your word for it. I only played like 20 minutes.
It's just funnier to me because even if this movie's bad, it's still pretty good.
It doesn't have to make a lot of sense.
It doesn't.
It
really
in
doesn't.
what I understand about Just Cause.
And that's the best part. You just gotta be nuts. Get on a car and stunt position. Tom Cruise does half of the game in most of his movies.
Okay.
Don't see a
So
problem.
we should get Tom Cruise to play.
No, this guy's
main actor?
Latino. Don't take it away from my people. Tom Cruise taken so much from so many.
I know. I've watched at least 2 Mission Impossible movies.
I've only seen the one, and I really like the one.
Oh yeah.
The first one.
Which one?
First one.
The first one?
Yeah, I liked it because it just kept. It ended up being like a quadruple cross, where they just kept like, and I have another mask, and I was triple crossing you the whole time, and then someone else goes, well, I also had a mask. There was like 20 masks in that movie. It was awesome.
I miss movies like that.
I miss Face Off.
No, you don't. All right, next piece of news. Xbox has a deal with the creators of the Batman Arkham trilogy.
The tricky part about this is that Rocksteady were the developers, except for a lot of those creators left Rocksteady.
Yes.
And so they started a new studio called 100 Star, and they are the ones that did the deal with Xbox.
Okay. And it's not a Batman game.
Well, they don't own the IP. They don't own that IP.
All right,
That's Warner
well.
Brothers.
Hard
it is.
pass if it's not Batman.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a good. They do good work, right?
Batman?
No, that team.
Batman.
No, that's what I was saying. Batman.
I don't even. I mean, I guess they've only done those games, but I mean, they've done a lot of good stuff as far as like the combat and the movement, the flow, the story writing. You know, I feel like they could do that again with something different.
Batman?
Batman!
He's gonna stab me one of these days. Oh, and I have no regrets.
Not on stream.
It may be on the stream.
Again, your wife already takes pictures when you're not looking. I know when you sleep.
I don't know.
You
if
know how
that's
many
a threat or
Snapchats
what.
I get where you're sleeping? I have infinite opportunities for stabbings.
If I get stabbed, I want everybody to know it was happening.
No one listens, Getty. Catchphrase. All of our podcasts are secret podcasts.
That's what I hear.
Gonna get
All
that
right.
shirt.
Any speculations on what game it will be or what IP they will have? No?
I mean, it's through Xbox, so I'm not sure. But I mean, no.
Double Batman?
Double Batman? I mean, again, if they can get WB on board, maybe give him Batman again.
Maybe.
But that'll be really sticking it to Rocksteady. Like, you don't get Batman anymore.
I'm taking my Batman and going home.
Exactly.
But I mean, if you're mean to Rocksteady, then you also have to be mean to Bebop, right?
Ooh.
It's a good
And right over his head. Okay. Nine Souls goes 1.0. Hey, you guys remember Nine Souls? We talked about it on the podcast like 15 years ago. No, because nobody listens to the podcast. I can do it too, Alex. Nine Souls.
I've been waiting for this. This is if you want to take
Souls like Metroidvania.
yeah, but the main
2D.
the main one is Sekiro. If you take Sekiro and you mix it with like Hollow Knight.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's very exciting. I want to jump on this. I think Joel might, though. I think set up for review. Review copies didn't go out until like after, like at release. So
Historically, Joel is very good at rogue games.
I mean, actually, not necessarily. He's not a Souls person. So Getty, maybe this one will be right up your alley.
I don't know. I feel like he has a time to shine right now.
I remember
He is-
playing the beta for this, and I was not good. It was bad time. I love the game, but I had a bad time.
I mean, do you play those types of games, Alec?
No, Souls-likes are not my thing, but Metroidvanias are.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's like really that active combat of like
Yeah.
needing
Yep.
to manage your stamina, manage parries, and you know,
Otherwise, you're not getting anywhere.
yep,
Nope. That's exactly what happened.
yeah.
Yeah, check it out. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Okay. Next. Capes.
No capes.
Went 1.0.
Oh, right.
There's a beta breakdown somewhere with Alex and I where we looked at capes.
Yeah, Capes is fun. You had a good time. Very XCOM like with little
XCOM, but with
superheroes.
like, yeah, with X-Men. XCOM with X-Men. That's how I would describe it. Check it out. We have a YouTube channel. We put stuff on there.
Yep, we got another beta breakdown cooking.
No, we don't.
We do. You ain't in charge of the beta breakdowns in here.
You're right. We're already behind schedule. The beatings will continue
Until
until more beta breakdowns exist.
Improve. Yeah.
No. Morale is not improving. You want the beta breakdowns. That's how it works. All right. Next, Sony State of Play was today.
Yep.
I'll take your word for it. Here are some things that came up. God of War Ragnarok coming to PC.
Now, okay, stop for a second. The kicker here is that they
Wasn't going anywhere.
They're rolling out a new PlayStation overlay to sync up with Sony's internal systems like profiles and trophies. So now you can get trophies on PC.
Okay.
And that means you need a PSN login, which means that there are countries that don't have access to PSN. So this was like an internal problem that happened with Helldivers too, where they changed it and turned to the switch that you have to have a PSN to play Helldivers 2, and that kicked out a lot of people to the countries. They've since came back and said, "Oh, my bad. We will take away that policy for Helldivers 2." But here on out, they are now starting to put that forward that you need to have a PSN account and you need to be able to log in, which also that's something that Steam Deck cannot do.
Okay.
So this will... And they actually added this in for Ghosts of Tsushima, but they did it for only the online mode. But now this is going to come with this built in. So to play this game, you need to have a PSN login, so not every country can play this. And also, Steam Deck will not have this unless they somehow make it Steam Deck verified.
Okay.
And that's the overlay, just the overlay.
Yeah, because I think that like Spider-Man needed a PlayStation account.
I don't think it did.
I could have sworn I signed up for one for it.
I don't know. Alec is the one who has it, so.
I can look into it again.
I'll have to.
No, you don't have to. Please don't.
Please don't.
Next piece of news. We're still on the State of Play. This is for me, I guess.
You don't need
Dynasty Warriors Origins. Y'all like Dynasty Warriors? I guess it's just me. All right. Will I play it? Yeah. Maybe. There's some of these I don't even know what they are, so Alex is going to explain them.
Huh? What?
Exactly. Infinity Nikki?
Yes. Okay, hold on. I'm on this. Infinity Nikki. This is kind of a chibi anime 3D game that kind of does like everything. It's like a Pokemon Snap mixed with farming, cozy game, dress up. It's open world cross dress up adventure. So do with that what you will. That's where we are at with Infinity Nikki.
Okay. Ballad of Elantra?
That Google did not work for me, so I can't tell you.
All right.
Next.
I unfortunately did not get to see it. I know this next one, though. Mm-hmm. We'll let your imagination run wild for Ballad of Elantra, but Alex will tell you about Monster Hunter Wilds.
It's very exciting. Monster Hunter is back, and it is going to be awesome on the PlayStation, also going to Xbox, PC. I think that's it, because I don't think that it is I don't think that it's going to be powerful. The Switch, I don't think can handle how much this is looking graphically intensive.
Is it?
Yes, it looks like.
How many of the monsters do I know? Be honest.
They showed in that trailer
6,
2, and I think that we don't know either of them. One of them's a giant bear.
11.
No,
I don't know any of them.
We only saw 2, and then we also.
Do I get to name them?
No, maybe. Baraboo. And then there's also a new, I want to say, like, we saw 2 weapons, which was the great sword and the gun, like whatever the big like machine gun thing is. So that was pretty cool.
Bazooka?
I don't know what the weapon's called. So that was
the
pretty
auto
cool.
gun.
Was it?
I think it was an auto gun, wasn't it?
Whatever that. Don't make me. I'm logging into Monster Hunter now. Just to say what the weapon is. We saw a lot of detail in the enemies. We saw environmental stuff. You saw a guy shoot a cavern above, and you saw rocks fall down. He was being chased by a group of monsters, and it cut off a bunch of monsters from attacking him. So there are more environmental stuff, which was big in Monster Hunter World, less so in Rise. The weapon is called a bowgun. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, we saw a bowgun.
Bowgun.
We now have a lizard mount. Like, it looked like a little raptor that you're riding on, so that's pretty cool. You get a little bit more defensive capabilities, a lot more movement sets. It looks like, because we saw a great sword. This was gameplay. So we saw some new moves from what the great sword could do before, and that's very exciting.
I thought it was a mix of gameplay and cutscenes.
Yeah, yes. But I mean, I was saying that at least we saw a gameplay as opposed to just straight CGI.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always have one big problem with Monster Hunter, and that's the world is never really seeming to change.
What do you mean?
They feel stuck in time in a specific place. That in all the games, with the technology and everything, it never changes. It never advances.
Yeah, because monsters keep killing everybody.
I think it's more the fact of that the world of Monster Hunter, they're not supposed to be that technologically advanced. The areas change, the maps change. You see a lot of extremes happening. Like, again, you'll see like a cold area, a desert area. You see probably like 10 to 20 maps per game,
which is really cool. And they have done a lot with that. It's just, I don't know. I'd like to see, like, you get
a car.
A car?
No.
Sure. No.
That's crazy.
Steamships or,
they do.
airships.
Oh, they do. Oh, yeah. You get ships.
Airships?
Yeah.
Airships.
I think that's how you got to where you are in the beginning of Monster Hunter World, were you not?
No, you were on a regular ship.
And
Zora Magdros just came out of the ocean and kind of messed up your stuff.
That name sounds made up.
No, that's a real one. No, that is no. You do get airships and stuff. Yeah, there are. But it's like, again, you're not playing like an airship. You're just like around it. Yeah. I think in Monster Hunter World, one of the places, like one of the hubs, is just like a crashed airship in a tree.
Interesting.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah. So
I played that game for like 20 hours, and then I was like, why am I still playing this?
I had 80. When I logged in, I was like, oh, 80 hours, huh? Weird.
These are rookie numbers.
As opposed to my Skater XL numbers. It's messed up, man.
I'd like to see those numbers.
What am I at now? 720.
2 million?
724.
You can never, ever criticize anybody.
No, I don't. I mean, I criticize people for lots of things.
But not that.
No, not that.
Last one. Big news. Astrobot. September 6th.
Yep.
Get you one.
Yeah, Astrobot looks sick. It's a new game. It looks to be kind of similar in the vein of what the pack-in for PS5. You're flying around in a PlayStation 5 controller ship, and at one point you then take over an actual PlayStation 5, and you're flying it like a spaceship and shooting and fighting monsters in space. Lots of throwbacks to different permutations of like PlayStation characters. I saw one Astrobot as Nathan Drake shooting guns. There was definitely the guy from Shadow of the Colossus with an Argo horse, but it was an Astrobot, and that's just generally pretty cool. So there was a lot there. Astrobot continues to be adorable. Very excited.
Looks like it'll be fun.
Alex, day one Arona.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How's that collection coming?
Which one?
Your day one collection.
Pretty good so far.
You cracking into any of those anytime soon?
Define cracking in.
No, see, he's collecting them. And if you open them, it loses their value. He's a collector.
It just makes sense, Getty.
All right. I'll let you figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Alex is going to figure out the rumor mill for us. Can we get like a slogan or a catchphrase for the rumor mill?
Or some music.
But you can't come up with it.
I mean, I could have Phil build me a theme song. He'll do it in like 30 seconds and have 6 options for me.
I'm not a fan with the segment names that you came up with back in the day.
Which ones?
I've done a lot of work on this podcast, okay?
Indie or Outie still a killer.
Yes, that's a good one. But some of the segment titles...
Metacritical
I don't know how we got away with it.
Metacritical wasn't great. Next.
All right. Yeah, Alex's rumor mill. He's going to churn out some rumors here.
The rumors are we have Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica are the remakes. There was rumors that it was going to be Resident Evil 1, but now they have shifted and said that both the Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica are the ones that will be coming out next.
And you're sure of this?
Getty, what is the name of the segment?
It's called Alex Predicts the Future by listening through third-hand information that some guy got while, I'm not going to say what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Over the pants mouth stuff.
There we go. We'll let
That's
somebody
where
else
rumors
determine
come
if that gets you a Lion King session or not.
I don't know. It's not swearing.
No, and I've heard a lot worse.
The pants
All right.
mouth stuff.
Sony making a PlayStation... Oh, wait, this isn't my news to tell. This is Alex's. Go ahead.
The PlayStation VR did not sell well, and because of that, they've had a lot of stock and inventory in a bunch of warehouses that is not being sold. So they are now making the move to try to make these PC compatible, and are working on a dongle that will attach the PlayStation VR 2 to the PC.
Okay. Dongle.
Dongle.
It's a good word, dongle.
Trying to get me in trouble, and you're over here saying dongle.
You just gotta let dongle there.
All right.
You're welcome.
Freebies?
Freebies.
Freebies.
Oh, I gotta put in an age for one of these.
That doesn't sound right.
No, I know why. It's just I didn't want to do it.
Oh.
Okay, you ready?
I am always ready for freebies. Are you ready for freebies?
Yep.
All right. First one, over on the Epic Game Store, we have Chivalry 2.
You ever want to do first-person realistic military combat?
No.
Chivalry 2. You swing your sword via the mouse, and you swing it in varying directions, and the direction matters. So, yeah.
I've always been told that in sword combat, direction does kind of matter.
I mean, yeah, the pointy end goes in the other guy.
Yeah.
Agreed. In this case, Chivalry remains that realistic. And so you have to swing the right direction to block different hits. And by doing so, and it's like an all-out war situation. You will have 50 people on a battlefield, and you're just running around. And there's a lot of control the point, knock down their walls, keep press the line, etc., etc. So if you imagine the video game Battlefield, but now military, and
press square to Jason,
and you get killed in 3 hits.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot of like, oh, I respawn, kill 2 people, die, respawn, do it again.
I feel like there were other games like that.
Yeah, this has got like real silly things though. You can be like the guy who's just like a horn that's just trying to pump up people.
Okay.
That's pretty fun. Anyway.
All right.
Yep.
Next one?
Yep.
Over on Steam, we have One Way Road Fire Hunt.
Fire has a prologue for the main story, One Way Road. Take part in space battles as you travel across the galaxy and fight to save humanity. The cinematic, narrative-driven, action-focused space shooter. That's a lot of...
Yep.
Right? Cinematic, narrative-driven, action-focused space
It needs
shooter.
one more.
It needs at least half of these gone. Yeah. Will you take the journey to the near future and put the destiny of mankind in your... That's... Okay, take you. This game will take you on a journey into. This is such a long sentence.
That's fine. It's fine.
Okay. This looks
It's in space.
Cinematic space shooter, and
Alright.
there are skill trees. It looks cool. I might just like add this to my inventory. I mean,
Okay, do it.
It's a prologue, so it's for you to try, and that's what's pretty cool. The first like beginning chapter.
Try it before you buy it.
Mhm.
Maybe. All right. Last one that we have this week. Tawaga Among Shadows.
That's pretty
over on Steam.
This is a fully 2D animated shoot-'em-up game. See, this is nice and sweet. Embark on an intense journey to combat the darkness. Nailed it. Man, Tawaga, you get me to add this. And maybe the 99-cent soundtrack to my account. It's very cool. It looks like a Saturday morning cartoon, but more intense. Like a what is an intense Saturday morning cartoon that's got a little bit more adult themes? X-Men 90 whatever.
97.
It's got a cool look, a lot of laser beams, and you're just pointing and shooting around, fighting all the enemies in waves. Looks good.
Waves?
Waves?
All right. That'll close out the news. But we're going to take a quick break. Maybe come back with some backlog. Maybe. See you in a minute. And we're back. Back with the Backlog Blog, where we play games that we are severely underleveled for. We got 3 options this week. Well, technically 4, because one of them's 2. But you know what I want to hear about?
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear about Monster Hunter World and what you have done for Alec.
There's a lot of carrying.
It's funnier because we have a friend named Kevin who we hang out with, and Alec was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm getting into Monster Hunter Rise." My friend Kevin and I were playing it, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I definitely played that a bunch." And then I saw Kevin. He's like, "Why did you not tell me?" I'm like, "I definitely brought it up to you."
For sure. I was there.
Yeah. He was like, "You never told me." I'm like, I absolutely did that. But in this case, I was like, "Well, Alec, if you tell me, I'll get us a crew." And so he finally told me, and I was like, "Okay, here you go. Here's your crew. I got Joel." Kevin Hartwig, friend of the show, is also going to be joining us. It just took him 2.5 hours to get it installed. He texted me after and was like, "Oh, well, it just installed." And I'm like, "Yeah, we're done. Next time." So we can run a full 4-stack just to get you through. Like, we'll sit there and just like destroy monsters for you.
Nice.
Tell us about it. What do you think about it?
It was good. Hunting monsters, I've been playing with the insect glaive as my weapon of choice, and you actually get to hop around into the air, launch yourself up, and do smash attacks with the glaive, or jump on the monster's back and start slicing at them. doing piddly amounts of damage, but it's cool anyway. The thing that honestly I've disliked about it is that it limits who can go on adventures with me based off whether or not they've already seen the cutscenes.
You remember that, right, Getty?
Yeah.
You can't join.
I also thought that there was a level, like you could make everybody the same level as you.
I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't think so. I didn't see anything for it, and my gear would definitely be way under leveled for what Alex and Joel brought to the table.
Yeah. Me and Joel, it was funnier because Joel and I were like, oh, we haven't done this in a while, so maybe we should like really get back in the groove. And going with Alec, there were a couple times that I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just mess around with, oh, the monster's dead. Okay, so I think I have to do, my combo is this, and oh, the monster's dead. So I was like, Joel, we need to get into some arenas where they just put you're in a small enclosed arena and you're just fighting monsters. I was like, okay, Joel, let's get back into this. Let's try to remember what we're doing. And we definitely just were getting destroyed in there. So we got a little warm up. We're now getting back to some of the things that you can do in that game. There is a lot of mechanics in there that, Alec, you are not aware of yet, but there's just some cool stuff going on.
Well, I found out that my insect glaive does actually have a fire property to it, and that's why I kept lighting things on fire.
Yeah, so you get a lot of elemental stuff, and you will change that up per monster you fight. But you got to see some really cool, like, some of the cinematic value of the game, right? Like when we were chasing the Anjanath.
Yes, and the Rathalos came in and picked him up.
And body slammed him. Because we were up in the trees, like we were in the tree area. Yeah, and then a Rathalos picked it up and then body slammed it through the trees all the way down to the floor, and then I jumped into the hole and attacked him while he was on the ground.
It was pretty cool. I didn't know that you could have monsters fighting each other, fighting other monsters.
Oh, that happens a lot. We saw a Bareth with a Gyarados wrapped around it, fighting it. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a lot here that with the interactivity, and wait until you start figuring out how to fly, because you will be flying it with an insect glaive guy.
Yes, now that I've got a couple hours under my belt, I need to go through and watch that video on how to actually play again.
Yep. Yeah, I gave you the primer video. Like, there's a bunch of videos that are like, here's 20 minutes and explaining the one weapon.
Yeah, 20 minutes. I looked at it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. And then I started watching. And I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Time to watch it at double speed.
Well, that's what I do. Is that there's a spot where you can go to a training room.
Yes.
And I will put up the video on one screen and training room in the other, just so I could see what he was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
They'll tell you the combos. They'll tell you this, because they never tell you any of this in the game. Like, what is the secret moves? What happens when you press these buttons together and they do another thing? You just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's kind of a lot there that they just don't tell you. And that's what's
Luckily, somebody else figured it out.
Yep.
And made a 20-minute YouTube video on it.
Well, that's the thing about it, is that this, while it's kind of like, oh, why did anyone tell me? It's more that this stuff has been building on top of it since Monster Hunter 1.
Oh.
So that's why, and they every game, it's like, here's another new move, and also we changed this one move. So it shifts, it changes, it does different, but they here's a new addition. So there's always something different, something new they added. And that's kind of where it's like, oh, why didn't anyone teach you this? Because it's generational. It's just still going from the beginning.
You'll never know.
But it's super fun, and again, you'll start to see the well and depth of it, because it's just animations matter. I was telling somebody recently that there is the charge blade, Alec, that
yes.
will it's a sword and shield that when you can put them together to make an axe.
Right.
But in the animation when you transform it from a sword and shield to an axe, the shield is kind of in front of him, and that in that moment, if the monster attacks, it will deflect because he's got the shield in front of him in the animation, and that will cause bonus damage.
Yeah, and figuring out
Bonus.
the timing on the animations for when you can interrupt and dodge and things like that has been a little tricky. I've been getting smacked around by quite a few monsters as I'm learning.
Yeah, and so it's really about movement. It's really about picking your some of your the great sword is just about you're not going to hit a lot. It's more about picking the right time. It's dodge, 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 swing. Dodge. It's just about figuring out where the right moment is to be, because you're gonna start doing things like you mounted one of the monsters, and that was super cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and they in Rise, that's a big thing where it's mounting the monsters. Everybody can do it. Let's do it a lot, and that's kind of what you need to understand is that it's just take a breather, try to master the weapon, because it's just going to be more and more stuff as you go. And it does do it in a good ramp so that it doesn't really feel overwhelming. By the time you're oh, I'm at the final boss, and now they unlocked 17 different new end game quests where you're fighting 3 monsters in a, not at once, but back to back to back to back. You're going to be oh, okay, I got to use my mantle, which is a cloak that has different properties. You pick which one you want to have. You will use your different shots, different traps, all of your different insects, and then you'll also be throwing down different wells that will shoot up smoke for healing or better damage. You'll be using powders that will area of effect give everyone bonus damage and bonus armor and blah blah blah. You'll see when you get to that end game, everybody fully you'll get oh, I'm online and I'm with 4 people and we're fighting these high level bosses. You sit down and everyone preps themselves. Everyone gets buffs, everyone does the thing, and then you go in there and it's just, oh, this is so cool because there's just so much. Yeah, and it becomes very fun like that because it's so intricate. And also it's just you shot a flare and one random guy showed up in our game.
Yes, that's was pretty cool.
But that's one of the fun things that I'll get bored and I'm I don't want to do any story stuff. I don't want to do any grinding or anything. So I will just search there's a search for flares and it'll say, oh, here's one, and I'm all right, that's what I'm doing. I jump in and it's a 4 stack already. I'm the 4th person. All right, let's do it. Run in random. That's what my Monster Hunter streams are, is just me going online and then and they don't have the randomize as much. It's not really that good of a system in Rise.
Right.
But I definitely will just go and search for random games and then jump into oh, okay, we're going 4 of us into this one fight. And that's what's the fun part for me, is that you go in, everyone's doing buffing, and all of their abilities work together in different ways. One guy is flying through the air, one guy tanking him, I'm chopping off the tail, and then someone's long ranging it, and it's oh, this is what I want. And it's the monsters are cinematically fighting each other. You're diving out of the way where you're missing getting set in fire by an inch. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And yeah, or getting set on fire and having to roll to put yourself out. Stop, drop, and roll.
That was a fun one. Yeah, we oh wait, okay, so if you're bleeding, what you want to do is just bend down and crouch for 30 seconds. If you're on fire, you roll 3 times. If you're it's oh, okay, you have to keep doing all the things. Super fun.
And that is one of our streams that's going to be happening, maybe.
I mean, Joel's ready to do it again. I'm ready to do it again. We got a Kevin Hartwig who's waiting in the wings.
All right.
You got a Kevin Hartwig.
I mean, if I could convince you, Getty, I would get you in on this. But I know I can't convince you to play games with me.
Not gonna happen.
You don't want to play games with me.
Good try, though.
Yep.
B for effort. All right. I made you guys talk enough. I will talk a very small amount and tell you that I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Nice.
You can ask me 2 questions each. That's all I want. That's all I have time for, and that's all the desire that is in my heart. So,
do the questions have
ask
to be
away.
about
the game?
Okay.
Please.
I gotta ask.
Nothing that'll get us banned from Twitch.
I'm already trying.
Okay, how do you feel that it wrapped up?
Good and awful.
Okay.
Good because it came to the conclusion that I knew it would. Bad because of the conclusion and knowing how long I'll have to wait to see the final game.
I mean, because it does, it wraps up but also doesn't. It is how Kingdom Hearts is it? Like, I know the answer, but what did you think about how Kingdom Hearts it is?
I didn't think it was that Kingdom Hearts.
Feels very Kingdom Hearts to me.
I played all the Kingdom Hearts, so
I'll have to YouTube the ending now because I'm not going to play it.
We'll talk about it off air.
But yeah.
Favorite cinematic moment?
There we go.
Favorite cinematic moment? Cosmo Canyon.
Okay.
Just everything that happened there. Probably the last scene around the bonfire. That's the last big one that you do while you're there.
It's funny. I was talking to I can't remember who I was talking to, but one of the comments I had read on the internet was about that people didn't think, they're like, why we need, like, the team doesn't really interact, and I'm like, I remember lots of sit down powwows of like, okay, what just happened? Let's talk about it as a group. And would you agree, right, that they did talk about a lot of the events? They would sit down and like do a debrief as a team.
It does hit all of those points. If you remember in the original game, you would do story beats and then eventually you would have a point where things would stop. This game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, follows the second disc of Final Fantasy VII. You do all of those things. It's just in a different format now. 3D, like fully rendered, graphically amazing 3D, but you go on the ship.
Nice.
I mean, it's not the exact same experience, but you go on a ship. You meet Sid. Is it how you met Sid in the original game? No, but you still get some of that. And you do those debriefs, though. Alex, you're right. I mean, it starts out with you kind of debriefing what happened to Cloud in the past.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I think that was one of my favorite parts about the Final Fantasy VII series, was that when I played the original, I remember every time, like, they would go to Calm and something would happen and they would sit down and be like, man, that sure was crazy, right? What does that even mean? Yeah. Like, what does that mean for us? What does that mean as a team? And then they would sit down and talk about it, and then like, oh, okay. Like when they went to the the Haunted Mansion scene, which is essentially the date scene, right? That ends up being like a whole debrief for them.
Yeah,
like let's sit down, let's talk, let's figure it out, and how do we feel about it?
I think that on that same vein, one of the things that people take for granted is in the original game you had the hidden counter that you would use to figure out who went on that date with you. In this one, it's a little bit more apparent because you have a relationship bar with all of the characters, and you can see what and you know if you missed something, and once you finish it, you can go back, and it doesn't make you have to do the whole game again. You can select who you want to be with for those scenes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So if you feel like you missed out, you didn't really miss out. You can go back and you can see some of the stuff that maybe you wouldn't have, like Yuffie. I don't think I ever unlocked that in the original. I don't know that I would actively try to, like, go back and redo the whole thing.
Oh, I certainly wouldn't.
But, man, it wraps pretty well.
Now we got to know what that means in the bigger picture.
Yep. Go figure it out.
Yeah.
Go play it, maybe.
I'd have to have a PlayStation.
It'll come to PC.
You just wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Can you play it on your Steam Deck? You know that you will be able to, probably.
Are you gonna play this on PC or a Steam Deck, Alec?
Probably not, because I don't actually know if my PC can handle it.
What about Steam Deck?
Oh yeah, I think I still hit that minimum required graphics card. I think I'm good.
Yeah. I also have that friend with the 3060.
Yeah.
Now, Getty.
Yeah.
What is the next 100-hour RPG you're going to play?
The next 100-hour RPG will end up being Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Gotcha.
But I'm taking a break. I'll talk about that in our final segment for the night. So if you're good, we can move over there.
You mean you're not going to play Euden Chronicles?
Not yet. That's the one with all the bonus characters, right?
Yeah, the Suikoden successor.
That's 100 hours?
I'm assuming. I don't know. I have to actually look at it.
Doubtful. But there's one way to find out. While I'm doing that, we'll move over to our final segment of the night, One Last Thing. And tonight's One Last Thing is brought to you by microtransactions as a business model. Don't believe me? Call of Duty is coming to Game Pass. Figure out how that's going to make anybody money. Microtransactions.
That or the idea that now people can like play it for cheaper, right? $12 will get you Call of Duty as opposed to $70.
And then you'd have to continually have it in order to play it.
I mean, again, how often are you going to be playing Call of Duty?
Well, it's not my game, but I think it's somebody else's.
Yeah.
So, up to you. My one last thing. I started and made a little bit of progress on a game that we beta tested on the podcast a while ago. Asterigos, Curse of the Stars.
Asterigos.
Not Rogue. It's a Souls game, but it is...
Oh, yeah.
The cool thing about it is they give you all the weapons like from the start, so you can vary your playstyle how you want to. One of the things that I'm finding frustrating is the map. The map is not really clear, and I've been running around in circles for a while, trying to figure out where to go next. But combat's pretty fun. I'm enjoying how easy it is to crush everything, but we'll recap more in a later episode. Alex?
I got nothing. I'm hanging out. I'm I'm back on the beat list, but I'm not at the same time. I'm just trying to knock out a few things. As opposed to like I'm taking a little bit of a break from Persona. It just goes and goes and goes. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll knock out some other things real quick.
Yeah, but don't you also have Final Fantasy 15 to finish?
And Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and both I need a little break from time to time.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
I do.
I don't believe him. Joel is not here. Ha, Alec.
So I bought the Metroidvania Mania bundle, and I'm debating between Cookie Cutter, 9 Years of Shadow, The Night Witch, and Death's Gambit for my Steam Deck on what I'm going to focus on next.
Cookie Cutter?
Cookie Cutter?
Cookie Cutter.
Okay, Cookie Cutter it is.
That's what I'm shouting out.
Yeah, I mean, that was a game that we definitely have been like kind of talking to them and been really communicative about their game and whatnot for a long time, and we just haven't we were very excited when it came out, but we just never I haven't got around to it. I own it, but I've not got around to playing it. So I think that you could be the tip of the spear here.
All right.
You could be. Just the tip.
Just the tip of the spear.
Of the monster.
No one said that, Getty. No one said that.
Alec, it's only like 63 hours. Main story plus extras.
Completionist says it's 88.
I don't know if that is long enough for me.
Fair.
Yeah. I think it's got to be longer, right?
I mean,
all right. We'll circle back.
Yeah,
maybe. There's always next year. And that'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on X, formerly Twitter, at Super GG Radio, and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays, like tonight, are podcast night. Woo! Come, watch, hang out. see what it's all about. We do this for some reason, so you should watch it for some reason.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, Alex will find you and make you watch it.
Yeah.
He knows where you live.
I'm recruiting people, man.
I don't know what that means, and it sounds terrifying.
You heard me.
Wednesdays, Alex is playing Monster Hunter. Maybe he's dragging the rest of the podcast in to play with him. We'll find out. Tune in. That's Wednesdays.
We're getting more people, Getty. Maybe you?
Joel is sure...
Taking a break.
Maybe he'll be back soon.
Yep.
Let's just say it that way. All right. That's our streaming schedule. Maybe check out our YouTube. Go over there, see some of the videos that we've uploaded, check out some beta breakdowns. You know, hang out. I'm also informed that we have written reviews. Sometimes those get posted to the internet.
Ghost Runner is going up soon.
Ghost Runner 2 is going up soon.
There we go.
But when? You'll have to wait and find out.
It could be as soon as tomorrow.
No, you can't do that because the podcast is right now. But the audio
It'll be
only
as soon
version.
As Friday. Friday, May 30th.
Today is Thursday, May 30th.
Caddy, get us out of here.
Alex,
Get us out of
Alex,
here.
blink twice if you're okay.
I'm not okay.
All right, just checking. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening and good game, Alex.
GG, Getty.
Good game, Alec.
Good game.
Good game, Joel.
He said good game in my heart.
Aw, isn't that sweet?
But it's wrong.